Let's take a closer look at 2027 general elections and the suspected moves of political gladiators. Now, to discuss this, I'm joined by a political affairs analyst, Taiwo Olapade. Welcome, Mr. Olapade.
Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure. Now, Mr. Olapade, what impression did you have the moment you came across the visit of former Vice President to Abeokuta?
Well, let me start by saying that for every democratic system, it requires that we should also have a very strong opposition or viral opposition, as the case may be, to really put the government in power in check. And we saw, APC, and then when the PDP was in power between 1999 to 2015 thereabouts, we saw a very strong viral opposition from the APC until they also took over power from PDP in 2015. But sadly, we have not seen that in the last 8 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and even up to about 2 years thereabout now of administration of President Bola Tinubu. The opposition, the most viable or the most and the leading one in this regard, the PDP, has been in disarray since they lost out in 2015. And of recent, we have seen the hula baloo, the crisis that is brewing among the rank and file of the People's Democratic Party, and that has also not left out even the third force, as we used to call them, the Labour Party. Labour Party has also been in kind of political quagmire that has to do with leadership. Is it Abure? Is it Peter Obi and the like? So, but come to the visit by the former Vice President and the 2023 presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to his former boss, former President Olusegun Obasanjo. This is not the first time that Atiku will be visiting the former president.
But would you really say that, it's too early, or do you think that it's too early to start politicking for 2027 general elections? It's just 2 years, before
it is not.
2027.
It is not, because for politicians, they have this mentality, and that's how they play their games. If you're also within that corridor, that space, you start planning for another election. Immediately you won your ticket, like the 2023 election has gone, fine, has come and gone, but politicians already started looking ahead of 20. You won't wait till 6 months or till 1 year before you start planning. And that's how politics is being played, not just in our country. You start planning for another election in the next 4 years on the day you are elected into office or on the day you lost at that election. So seeing all these meetings between Atiku Abubakar, you can see is a very powerful delegation that also included one of the most very vibrant Senator Abdulningi from the northern part of the country. And you can't just wish away this visit, though our former Vice President kept saying during the interview session that it was just a mere courtesy visit, that was not going to speak about anything political. But we know the political undertone of such a visit. You don't see such a visit, particularly to a former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who even publicly, declared that he's no longer a member of the PDP, is not going to be partisan any longer. But even at that, he's a power broker. You can't wish away the influence of the likes of Obasanjo, the likes of Babangida, likes of Abubakar, former head of state, Absalam Abubakar, who becomes the president of the country. And I'm not surprised that we saw a quick reaction from the camp of the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party as it is now, from Senator Ajibola Basiru, that the visit poses no threats to the ruling All Progressive Congress. Of course, we have also not seen an official statement from the current president,
but in your opinion, should such an alliance threaten President Tinubu's 2027 ambition?
Well, we have heard from the horse's mouth. Senator Ajibola Basiru came out immediately to declare that it poses no threat. And there was a time I also saw him on a television station when he was talking about opposition. And I'll give the narrative he said, if you permit me. He said, if we are talking about to have a very viral, a very strong opposition. And the man said, if I support Chelsea, will I be happy to see Arsenal or Manchester City thriving? No. So that's the way politics is being played, is winner takes all for them. So when opposition party are embroiled in crisis, of course, it should be a joyful thing for the ruling party, in this case, the All Progressive Congress. So there are even sometimes speculations that maybe the ruling party also has a hand whatsoever in the crisis, working some other party like PDP, like APC. But time will tell. And sincerely, I don't see this meeting between the former president and the former vice president coming too early. 2027 is just around the corner. Before you know it, we are talking about parties planning for parties primary, looking ahead of the real election in 2027.
Okay, now just before we, let you go, away from the supposed alliance, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate President Tinubu's re-election chances, in 2027? Well,
as it is, there's always two sides to a coin. It depends on which side of the divide you belong to. But if you want to talk about economic realities of the present time, it will be a very difficult task for Mr. President if we conduct election now. I'm speaking about now. We never can tell what magic can be done before the 2027 general election. But if we are talking about now, it may be difficult for
Mr.
President.
Olapade. Sorry, I have to cut you short now, but thank you so much for joining us and speaking to us on this.
Thank you so much for having me.